Hey guys, just give me 1 second. I'm trying to pin this. I hope I spelled the name right. Hey Kizzy. What's up, our special guest? Talking about my favorite subject, Reiki. Messages from Spirit after the live. Okay, we're just gonna pin this. Okay, that should be good enough. Hey, you guys. How are you? What's up, Miss Marcia? Seville. Hey, Seville. Oh, you have a call at 8. No worries. I don't think the message is going to start till after that because this time I'm going to be smart and do Reiki first. Okay, let me get this going. The janky moments. But I think we're good. Yay. Hopefully, live cooperates tonight and doesn't get janky on me. I'm going to burn some special incense, not like sage. I'm going with blue dragon's blood. Set the mood. Set the mood with that blue dragon's blood. Oh, you see the bubble? Good. I don't know what was up with that jankiness, because I saw it before too. Girl, I'm going to have to give you, Marcy, I'm going to have to give you a job. I'm going to have to find some way to compensate you for your time. I'm going to have to give you a job, girl. Because you on it. We just going to let this rock for a second while I stir my tea. Welcome, you guys. What's up, Baldwin's Touch Media? If anybody is in the Charlotte surrounding county areas and they need a photographer, go holler at Baldwin's Touch Media. Does an excellent job capturing the energy of the moment. So if you want your pictures to look crisp and captured, that's who you want to go with. Shameless plug for Baldwin's Touch Media. So y'all see I got my Reiki hair on because, right, tonight is Reiki night. I added a bonus complimentary Reiki session. So if you haven't signed up already, there are some spots. I think it locks you out from signing up at 9 o'clock for free Reiki. The last time I looked, there were a few spots. It's distance Reiki. I started around 10:15 and I'm sending healing to your body. I like to tell people to think of it as if I'm going into the prayer closet for y'all. Okay, so we have a special guest tonight, and I'm gonna go ahead and bring her on. Why? Because we ain't gonna be wasting nobody's time. You know, I don't be on CP time. I be on real time. Real time. Okay, so let's get to it. And again, the messages, I'll do the messages after the live, so that will be later. So, I'm going to bring her in, but I'm going to let her introduce herself because she knows more about herself than I do. Right? Who's beating around the bush? Ooh. I love your Akeem voice. I'm very happy to be here. I'm very, very happy to be here.
Hey,
Hey, girl.
how you
Oh my
doing?
God, I love them lips.
Oh, thank you.
They are
Let me.
like everything. And before we even get started, I want y'all to know, look how pretty Reiki girls look. Look at these
Yeah.
clear eyes.
Clear eyes,
Look at these smiles. Like
bone
you want to
structure.
get some of these glow ups. You don't want to just be on the side. You don't want to be on the sideline. You want to get this glow up. This is essence. This is life.
Yeah.
This is chi. This
Yes. It is.
is chi. So I'm gonna let you introduce yourself, which I know that's not traditional when somebody, but you
That's
know
right.
everything. Like, who are you? Tell us why you are here. This is Reiki night.
So I am Dr. Marissa, and I am a Reiki healer master. Let me
Mm-hmm.
not undercut myself.
Mm-hmm.
I am a life coach and a board certified chronic pain specialist, anesthesiologist,
Mm-hmm.
and I help overextended um, professionals to get back to their life, to feel
Ooh.
whole again. So if you're burnt out like I
Mm-hmm.
was when I was practicing medicine
Mm-hmm.
full time,
Mm-hmm.
then you're going to want to come see me because I'm going to help
Mm-hmm.
you get your life.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that's what I do.
That is fantastic, and I love you have a niche. You have a niche.
Mhm.
Like, can't nobody tell you about that because you lived it.
Yes, absolutely.
And burnout, just for a moment, tell us how your burnout was. Like, because
Yeah.
sometimes you don't realize you're in something until you're coming out of it, or you're
Yep.
so deep in it.
Yep. So I I went to school forever.
Mm-hmm.
I went to college after high school. I did work in New York for about 4 years,
Mm-hmm.
in a lab.
Mm-hmm.
I was dissecting rat brains
Oh God.
at Columbia
Yikes.
University. And I did that for about 4 years. And then I went into medical school at Stony Brook, and medical school, residency, um, fellowship, it's all high pressure
Mm-hmm.
because you're learning so much information.
Mm-hmm.
Then, after you do your book learning, you go into the field. So you
Mm-hmm.
start seeing patients. And I felt like I was already burnt out from the time that I started medical school,
Mm-hmm.
or maybe I would say residency. I was like already burnt out in residency.
Mm-hmm.
I was still,
Mm-hmm.
and it was because for me, I needed to be doing or practicing medicine that's more
Mm-hmm.
well-rounded. What I'm doing now, it's more um, because I have the traditional aspect with the Reiki
Mm-hmm.
healing combined with the Western medicine aspect. I don't feel as burnt out anymore. Plus, the the big the big factor is that I'm running my own business. So
Yes.
when I was let me just describe how I felt burnt out. I couldn't sleep at night. I was just
Ooh,
always
that's a big one.
it's huge because when you're a physician, I was running my office by myself. I didn't have any partners.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just me and my nurses,
Mm-hmm.
and I had insomnia. I wasn't sleeping.
Wow.
I was always tired. Like
Mm-hmm.
I would sleep at night. Actually, not really. Like wouldn't get sleep at night. Then, even though I was already tired, the anxiety would still keep me up. So one night, the night that I can tell you that like really broke the
Mm-hmm.
straw that broke the camel's back, is when I was on vacation in Mexico with a girlfriend of mine, and I was up all night crying.
Shut up.
Like I was on vacation and I couldn't even relax. And that was
Shut
when I
up.
knew this was like about 3 years into me practicing. That was when I knew I had to do
Mm-hmm.
something else. I was always anxious. I was always tired. Even if I did sleep well at night, like on the weekends, because actually I don't take call.
Mm-hmm.
In chronic pain management, it's nice. We can take weekend call.
Mm-hmm.
People don't really, there's not really like a lot of emergencies. Ooh, it's 808. That's
That's
one of my angel numbers.
the number. Throw some 808s on it. That's what I
Yeah.
always say. Throw some 808s on it.
and and we'll talk about that soon
Mm-hmm.
because that 808 is really, it means something for me. And I've already had a sign today of the abundance that number is
Boom.
bringing. So, yeah, I wasn't even on vacation. I was crying. I wasn't sleeping. And that was when I knew I had to leave the job that I was at. Um, So essentially, that's what I did. About maybe 9 months later, I was out of there. And
how did you find Reiki?
I found it because I was basically laying hands on people anyway. So like
Oh,
it's
so you
it's
was taking everything.
yeah,
That burnout
especially
wasn't
like
even
with
all yours. That was
no.
burnout from everybody who came to see you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So well, that's the other thing. Like I didn't realize that I was using my energy, like
Mm-hmm.
I was using my own radiative Reiki healing
Mm-hmm.
that was from inside of me. You know, when you get trained, you're channeling it
Mm-hmm.
from the universe. When you're not trained, you're using your
Yeah, your
own energy.
essence.
And I didn't realize that every day when I was seeing like 20 to 25 people a day,
Wow.
that I was putting all that energy out and I wasn't giving it back to myself. I didn't
Right.
have any good self-care
Right.
routines. I really was out there willy-nilly out
Right.
in the field with no protections, no guidance,
Mm-hmm.
nothing. That was why I was so burnt out. So go ahead.
And I was gonna say, and isn't it funny, as a doctor, we just assume,
Mhm.
oh, the doctor's cool. The
No,
doctor knows everything. The
not.
doctor's fine.
We put on a brave face, and I'm only talking about those of us who don't know how to take care of ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
We put on a brave face, and you'll see us looking great. You know,
Mm-hmm.
people used to talk about me and be like, "Oh yeah, her hair was always in a different style, and
Mm-hmm.
she was this, and that." But I was like dying inside. But to show up at work, I had
Mm-hmm.
to be strong.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
so like I said, boyfriends of mine, if at night we would be laying in bed and if I had my hand on like my one boyfriend, Juan, he would be like, yo, there's energy coming from your hands. So that's how
Mm-hmm.
I learned. I was like, oh well, let me put both of them on you. So I
Let's charge you
yeah,
up.
I was like treating my
Yep.
boyfriend and I didn't know what I was doing. And I don't even remember how I learned about Reiki.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think it was through another one of my friends who is also a clairvoyant. That
Mm-hmm.
was when I learned what it was. And I was like, I'm already
Mm-hmm.
doing this. So why don't I get trained?
Absolutely. So how long has it been now since you've been practicing?
Um, it's been a couple
Mm-hmm.
years since I've been fully trained as a Reiki master.
It goes so
It
fast.
does. Yeah. And when you're like how we're supposed to do self-healing
Mm-hmm.
every day. um I have to be honest, like I could be better with that, but
Yeah,
you know it's again, it's one of those things where the caretaker needs to be up on their
absolutely.
own self-care for themselves.
Absolutely. I have been swearing that when I was a little kid, this just came out for me. When I was a little kid, I used to say that I wanted to be a nun, right? And
Mm,
so I had a past life regression, and it was like I was a nun in a past life, right?
wow.
But it was like servitude and duty. So
Yeah.
then in this life, I realized that, we call it people pleasing
Hmm.
and taking care of everybody else. And I literally was like, I'm going to send back healing to that time when I
Mm,
was that, because I cannot be so dutiful
yeah.
and obedient, because it was like God, the orphans, God and the orphans. And I was like smushed
Yeah.
out of it.
Wow. That's
So I have to like actively keep up with the self-care, because I know I was attached to being so dutiful and honoring God
yeah.
and taking care of the orphans, that there was no Terry in the middle. Well, not that I was Terry.
So
There was no me in the middle.
that that brings me to something that I was listening to a podcast yesterday, and this woman said that on the earth there's 50% old souls and then there's 50% younger souls.
Mm-hmm.
And she said that the younger souls are learning compassion for other
Mm-hmm.
people, and the old souls are learning compassion for themselves.
Ooh.
So that story that you just told, and we know you're an old soul, okay?
Oh my
Like
God.
because you've even told me like you have ancestry, or not necessarily ancestry, but you have Atlantean
Mm-hmm.
history to you.
Mm-hmm.
So you've been
Yep.
here, I don't know
I
how
don't
many hundred
even
times.
I wouldn't even
Yeah.
begin. And the weird part about me is that I have met a lot of people who are ready to get out of here. They're like,
Mm-hmm.
Earth is ghetto, I want to go. And I'm
Yeah.
literally, it has not been until this year, this is the first year that I ever was like, okay, listen, if there's nothing else for me to do, let me leave. But that
Yeah.
was when I had COVID. I was like, what am I doing in
Yeah.
COVID? Like, if
Yeah.
I'm not going out, if I'm not exiting, what am I doing in COVID? I literally was in
Yeah.
like, but I literally was being sat down for a redirection. But otherwise, that was the only time that I was like, what am I doing here?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I feel I've actually felt that tiredness too. Like that's my thing. I
Mm-hmm.
don't think I'm just tired from
Yeah,
this go round. I'm tired from other times
all of it.
because I've been a healer for so many different ages
Yeah,
and centuries that I've been coming here.
yeah,
So that's the thing that you're teaching me is maybe I need to go back and send healing to myself from
yeah,
other time, space, realities, and
yeah.
dimensions.
Because
Because
think about it.
yeah,
When was the time that you said you wanted to be a doctor?
I I started saying I wanted to be a doctor before I was 2 years old.
Okay,
And
so you see how that is
yeah,
in you.
yes. And that's the thing that I think that that I knew, because you know how kids know
Yeah,
more, they remember more
when
of
they're
like who they
young.
are and what they're supposed to be doing. I think I knew that I was supposed to be a healer, but the language that I had for it was doctor.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
that
that would be what you were shown.
yeah.
You wouldn't have been shown any unless you were born into a village where they were doing hands-on healing or medicine.
Mhm.
Otherwise you would have saw what healer looks like in this time. It's doctor.
Yeah.
Because think about it. You went to the doctor, got shots, got
Mhm.
checkups, pediatrician.
And that was how it came out. My mom said I was 18 months old
Mm-hmm.
and I was about to get a vaccination shot at the doctor.
Full
And the
circle.
doctor who was trying to distract me from the shot asked me what I wanted to be when I
Mm-hmm.
grew up. And my mom said that in my little kid broken English, I's gonna be a doctor. That's what
Oh
I
my
told her.
God.
Yes.
Girl,
And
and you said
that
it like
was
a
like the
slave. You
first,
already
that
knew
was,
you was about to be a
yeah,
slave to the machine. You said it like a slave.
no, I already set it up. You know, it came from another past life. So
Absolutely.
yeah.
Now, one thing about Reiki is when I first took Reiki, 2008. The funny thing is how I found it was I was in massage
Mm,
school and there was this girl and I came from corporate. So
yeah.
I didn't know none of the language, but I saw that salary that they make
Hmm.
and I knew I didn't want to be a nurse
Hmm.
and I knew I couldn't do hair. So I was like, oh, let me try massage. So this girl's like random in class. Like that's where I met the hippies. I call them the hippies in
Yeah.
massage school.
Yeah.
She's like, you know, if you do Reiki, you could do like 10 massages in a day. And I was like, ooh, let me do the math. Right.
I'm actually like, oh, she means that the Reiki healing, it was that much more
She
lucrative.
was she was
Okay.
saying that physically I would be
Oh,
able to do more massage if I took Reiki. So
okay.
what do? I sign up. I take Reiki while I'm in school because I'm like, oh yeah, I'm about to hit the gate running.
Okay.
That was a complete lie.
Mm,
When I got my first attunement, the first thing that came out was a bunch of
yeah.
anger, cussed out my Reiki teacher because I was like, it's so invisible that you're like, what
Yeah.
is this? This isn't working. What did I pay for? I was
I
feeling
remember.
crisis immediately. That lasted
Yeah.
exactly 7 days. And so before I
Yeah.
was like,
For
oh my
me,
God, this is really working because I'm
yeah.
sick.
For me, it was the 21 days. Remember how,
Mm-hmm.
like,
The first 21, yeah.
the first 21 days, I remembered. So I did it was a weekend
Mm-hmm.
online thing,
Mm-hmm.
right? And we get attuned, girl. I was stuck. Like, I would be in the kitchen in my pantry just staring because I didn't even know what the hell I was doing. Like, I was like the healing came over me so strong. And actually, like you were saying that you felt sick,
Mm-hmm.
I felt depressed.
Mm-hmm.
Like a lot of lower
Yeah.
vibration stuff was coming up for me.
Yeah.
So yeah, I remember, or I would like open the kitchen. I would open the door to a room and just like be staring,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
because I
And
was
I
just
actually think that
dumbfounded.
everybody, it's just my opinion, I think everybody should get attuned to Reiki,
Yeah,
whether they intend to practice it or not, because it literally starts at the time you don't necessarily know unless you maybe study chakras,
yeah,
but it literally starts loosening that stuck stuff.
yeah.
You know, the root chakra, our family, we've been in
Mhm.
survival mode,
Mhm.
stress, tension, then it goes up, your
Yeah,
creativity, relationships, it like comes up, your throat chakra, your
yep,
confidence, like,
yep.
because it's clearing your channel so
And from
that you
what,
can channel the
yeah,
energy.
from what I was hearing, or for what I learned, the first level is physical healing.
Oh, that would be
The
why.
second level, I don't remember. It goes up in terms.
Emotions, I think.
Yeah, it must be emotions. And then the third level is like crown chakra
Intuition.
level stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And I remember because I did it all. My teacher is very intuitive, and
Mm-hmm.
she knew, she was like, you're actually ready to do everything. Like I
Mm-hmm.
did level one
Mm-hmm.
first, and I
Mm-hmm.
did that a few months before I did
Yeah.
2 and 3 back to back,
Yeah.
because my teacher is very intuitive. She knew that I was ready for both
Yeah.
levels, because usually you're supposed to wait years in
Yeah.
between.
Yeah.
But my teacher was like, look, you're already
You're already
doing
doing
this.
it.
Let's, yeah. So I went down for a weekend. My teacher is from the Gullah Geechee
Mm-hmm.
land. And do you remember Forrest Gump?
Yeah.
Where he's running through the tree. You remember those trees? Like, and it's the Run Forest
Oh,
Run.
yeah.
So those oak trees, she lives on the street adjacent to that. Remember
Oh,
how
my
beautiful
God.
that was? Like, she lived,
Yes, I
and
remember it clear as
to me,
day.
it was like a wonderland, because it was all these beautiful live oaks with the
Mm-hmm.
Spanish cross that was hanging. And because it's Gullah Geechee land, a lot of people, a lot of enslaved Africans had
Mm-hmm.
lived there, but they had started to, they have their own
Mm-hmm.
land. So really sacred there, very much like New Orleans, which
Mm.
is where I've been recently. But
Girl.
I remembered going through every single level, and the amount of healing that I went through. I knew, I was like, I can't do this again.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because like
Mm-hmm.
it was almost too
Mm-hmm.
much. I was able to handle it, but it was a lot of just stuff coming up. You probably even remember how, because you've been helping me go through a lot of this. Like, I thank you for helping me, because your intuition and the readings that I get from you help me to see, like, or not to really see, but to have confirmation on what like my next step would be. Because
Yeah.
I always come to you, I already, me, I already know. Like, I
Yeah. It's
come,
like,
yeah,
let's put this in a circle.
exactly. And because sometimes you'll either confirm something or like deny it, or
Mm-hmm.
so that's how you've been really helpful for me in this journey, because it's like, coming from the Western medicine, it's cerebral, it is
Yes.
scientific, and then Reiki is
Yeah.
spiritual.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
in this country, we don't mix the both.
Mm-mm.
That's like unheard of. It's like, well, you're either a thinker and you're a scientist, or
Yeah.
you do this. You don't mix them. But
How
that,
have your peers acted since you've been Reiki and
um,
less?
yeah, you know what? I've been, since I've dived into Reiki,
Mm-hmm.
I've mostly been experiencing that. So I
Mm.
haven't actually like brought it into like an office setting yet.
Gotcha.
So I will see. I think there's a lot of people who are really interested in it, like other physicians,
Mm-hmm.
because they know that a lot of the major hospital systems, like Mass General, um,
Mm-hmm. John
Yeah,
Hopkins in
John Hopkins.
Baltimore.
They have Reiki healers on staff. So
Mm-hmm.
it is becoming something that is widely used in medicine.
Mm-hmm.
Pamela Miles, who's like one of our Reiki gurus, she's
Mm-hmm.
a person who has done a lot of the research in medicine. And the research that she's done is like very high quality
Mm-hmm.
research that we would trust.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That was like, we know that Takata brought it
Mm-hmm.
over to Hawaii. However, some reason William Rand was able to put it in a commercial setting to
Yeah.
where it could spread even more, to
Yeah.
where people can, you can go literally to reiki.org now and read stories. Reiki.org magazine is there. You can find teachers all over the country. You can find, it's a real, I want to say, commercial way to plug in,
Yeah.
and to learn and to get all the information that you would need to get. It's available. Like, as much information as you want is available. If you just do a blind Google, you might be all over the place because there's so many different styles now. But if you're interested in traditional,
Mm-hmm.
I would say as a commercial route to go, that's a safe route to go.
Yeah.
He even offers accreditation,
Mm-hmm.
and stuff like that. So if you're
Yeah.
interested,
Yeah.
you can go that way if you want to be commercial.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, let's talk about your group healings, and
Yeah.
let's talk about, how that's set up for you, because you're life coaching as well.
Sometimes I do go into the field and like into the public. Like when I was just in New Orleans,
Mm-hmm.
I went to a healing center that's in Gonzales, Louisiana.
Mm-hmm.
And I did an in-person group healing there. And it was just amazing and awesome because I
Mm-hmm.
usually do everything online.
Mm-hmm.
So my clients are from different areas of the country, even of the world. But with me, when I do a group healing, I do them Wednesday nights. So I have one coming up tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we
My
all
goodness, they can be back to
yeah,
back. I have mine tonight at 10.
exactly.
You have yours tomorrow at 8. So
Exactly.
definitely, before you even get off, make sure you pin in your website.
Okay.
I
don't even
pin, I mean, at the end, we'll make sure we pin it so that people can go
I'll
sign up
figure
on
it
your
out.
site.
As I told Miss Terry, this is my first time being live. I'm a little bit shy. So
No, you're not. No, you're not. Not at all. Not at all.
But yeah, when we do the group healing, it's on Zoom. I usually kind of take the temperature of the room to see what folks need to set intentions for. So we all will set our own intentions, and then you just lay down in your bed. If you're if you're in your own home, and I would suggest that you're at home or somewhere you can relax. You're not operating any machinery, because the healing is going to make you sleepy.
Yeah.
The healing is, you just need to be in a receptive mode.
Yeah.
Kind of like Abraham.
Absolutely.
Mode.
Absolutely.
So I run the Reiki for about an hour, and sometimes we do a little debriefing. Like, I might pull some oracle cards, things like that, and I can tell people like what I've noticed
Picked up
about
on
feeling. Yeah. Because you can, as you've known, you can feel the energy flowing well, or if you can feel if it's stagnant.
Yes.
So I let people know what I found. So it's a good time. I make sure that you get music. I share with you some music that's good for, nice delta waves.
Absolutely.
Which helps us. So that's the other main reason why I like to set an intention, because if you're setting an intention and you're in this receptive mode and you're listening to this nice delta wave sleep music, that's how you change and reprogram your subconscious mind. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So it's all about healing yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And that, again, I was listening to Bashar today, and he
Mm-hmm.
was talking about what healers do. And
Mm-hmm.
healers, we bring you the tools, we bring you what you need, but then it's up to you to heal yourself. We are not
Absolutely.
healing you. You take whatever you need from the healer and you apply it to
Mm-hmm.
yourself. So you
That's
have to.
one of the things that annoys me a little bit about being a teacher, is because it's like you'll spend this time and you'll teach, and then the person might still be afraid to use it. And I'll be like, you have this beautiful tool
Yeah.
you can be using, and what do you, stop clowning around. I don't
Or
want you to do it.
the thing that I noticed when I was practicing medicine, and I still am, is that people either have what I call an inner locus of control
Mm-hmm.
of healing, or they have an outer locus of
Mm-hmm.
control. So the outer locus means they're looking to another person. Like for me, they're looking at me, the doctor, to take all responsibility in
Mm-hmm.
healing them. You know, they're always like, so what else do you have for me, doc? I tried this didn't work, that didn't work. What do you got? What do you got?
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, the other half of the coin, or the other side of the coin, is when you take control yourself.
Right.
And I always notice that the people who, in my practice, who knew that they could heal themselves, knew that
Mm-hmm.
they could get themselves better, who were doing the change in their diet,
Mm-hmm.
who were exercising, who were going to acupuncture and getting
Mm-hmm.
and other things, along with taking whatever medicine or getting what
Mm-hmm.
procedure that I suggest, they had to be doing their own work, because otherwise they didn't get better. If you
Right.
just come to me and say, look, you have to do this for me, or like, you know, if you come to a Reiki healing and you're not accepting the energy, that's not on,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Yeah.
it's none of my business. Like this is what Bashar said. It's none of your business what the person does with the tools that you give them to heal.
Ooh, that
You just
one.
give it.
Oh.
Yeah,
Ooh, that one cuts deep.
it does. And it cuts deep because people need to realize that you're responsible. Yes, I'm a healer, but I'm not responsible for your healing. You're responsible for it.
And that was hard for me as a healer, because
Mm-hmm.
honey, I will take ownership in a minute and be like, what?
Yeah.
What do you mean you're not better yet? Because I've already seen you there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I've seen you there. I see you whole. And so I'm like,
Yep.
catch up to the vision. What do you mean?
And
And the amount of time in between could be whatever's in
you're
between, but
talking,
I hold it that I see you whole.
and that's like what you just said is really high level stuff, because that is what Abraham says Jesus did. The way that Jesus healed people, you know how you hear about Jesus's miracles and
Mm-hmm.
everything, and you know, curing the woman with the issue of blood. It's because he saw her as whole,
Mm-hmm.
saw her as healed. So that's how that miracle happened. So you the healer, we're seeing you whole. You got to catch up to that.
Yeah.
That's exactly what you just said.
And that
Yeah.
is one of my favorite miracles, because I always imagine, right, he's in the crowd and it's a bunch of people, and she's like, if I could just touch his garment, I know
Mm-hmm.
I will be healed. So she make her
Mm-hmm.
way, touch that garment,
Mm-hmm.
but she literally, after seeing the bodies, like the emotional body, the causal body, the mental body, the physical body, in an aura. So when he's like, who touched me? It's
Mm-hmm.
like, I know she must have touched that healing body.
Yeah.
And he was like, wait a minute, head on. Who touched me?
Yep.
Somebody here got it. Like,
yeah.
That's one of my favorite
Yeah.
miracles.
And that's the thing. She did what she had to do.
Yep.
She took ownership, and she said, if I can just get there and just touch him.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And we know we have so many. That's why it's like good also to keep a miracle log, or when you're in a hard time and you like, I don't know how I'm gonna make it out of this.
Yeah.
Write it down how you made it out, because as soon as the next thing come up, you won't forget Did you forget how you made it out last
Yeah.
time? I need you to go back and read your miracle log to see how you made it out last time.
Yeah. And also when you're setting intentions for yourself, when you're trying to, and I say trying, and I go in quotes, trying to manifest, we don't try to manifest, we do. People don't realize that sometimes when they're manifesting, they don't realize that they've got it already. So what I'm talking about is, let's say like relationships, because
That's a big one.
like a big one. And you and I talk about that a lot. And I will go back and I will realize, like, even though I, let's say, had a relationship with someone that didn't last for long, maybe it was a few months, but I will notice that I actually manifested that. Maybe may not have worked out for the long term, like I'm for, but in terms of what I was looking for at that time, what I was putting into the vortex, I got exactly what I asked for. So that's another thing that we have to think about when we're manifesting. Sometimes we think, oh God, I've been trying to manifest this thing for such a long time. You've already been doing it. You need to kind of recognize what the steps are in terms of how you manifest.
Yeah. And the clearer you can get, the better. And if you're feeling heavy or hazy or foggy, I would even the way we were talking about Reiki earlier, like Reiki is literally, let's call it a portal. A portal to an energy that is clear, is pure, healing. That's why we don't have to worry about it coming from us, because we're tapping in and it's coming through us. Always say we're the jumper cable.
Yeah.
God is the battery. You're the broke down car. We're the jumper cable. We are holding the space in the middle. The clearer you can get and the lighter you can get, again, it goes into Abraham, the more you can literally walk in the life that you want. And I realize that sometimes people get offended by that. I think, but when they're stuck in like lower energy or things have been so heavy. But even with Reiki, because we can send healing to the past, it's like if we can soften up your past, then you probably can raise higher too, because we're softening the past and the present and the future. Instead of just being stuck or in stagnation.
And I like how you talked about how the Reiki healing raises your vibration. So if you are trying to manifest something, Reiki is really important because it raises your vibration. And it doesn't just, your vibration isn't just raised from the time that you're getting the healing. As you continue to get more healing, that stays with you. The Reiki is accumulative. So
it is.
You're not the same person after you've done Reiki, and it sticks. Like even one of the really important research papers that Pamela talks about is how people who have been in treatment for depression and anxiety found that just with one Reiki healing session, their depression and anxiety was different, even having one, and it was long term that they saw people had a change. So if you have any kind of physical or mental illness, emotional illness, and it doesn't even have to be an illness, it could just be, a tendency, or because not all of us who are sad have depression, not all of us who a bit of anxiety have an general anxiety disorder. But that healing will raise your vibration, and the more you do, the better off you are. So that's why with my Reiki group healing, it's actually a package that you buy, package of 6 healings. So, but what I do tell people is if you want to experience me, just without buying a big package, you could just get a single distance healing with me. And
Absolutely.
you can try it out then, and then the group package is a nice deal because instead of paying like my 40 minutes is 115, instead of that you're basically paying like $48 for each session. So
Which is an excellent
it
deal.
is.
Like, and sometimes I think that because it isn't something that's physical or tangible, like a product, I think people might get a little like, oh, what is this? But I've had people, it's so funny, right? I've done a Reiki session on somebody who could not, and it was in person, who could not relax. They were very fidgety, eyes fluttering all over the place. So even though I'm doing the healing, I can feel that they're still rattled. And so at the end, I'm thinking, there's no way they're going to rebook. There's no way they're going to rebook.
Yeah.
Like, and what they do, she turns around and books. And I said, well, what's making you actually rebook? I was curious at that point.
Yeah.
She's like, I don't know. I just feel like it did something.
Okay.
Well, yeah, you're right.
Good.
You're right.
That's good. But you know, what you're describing, it's hard on us. Isn't it hard when you're doing Reiki healing on someone who's not receptive? That the energy is actually like blowing back on us.
That is probably why it's so, you can feel it. Like,
you can feel that resistance. It does not feel good when you're
it does not feel good. It's like, I don't want it and you don't want it. And I'm like, the principles are right. The principles, right? The Reiki principles of just for today, do not anger. Just for today, do your work diligently, be kind, honor your mother and father, like the secrets to a happy life, right? So I'm like, I'm trying to keep myself with the principles, and this pushback is coming. And I'm like, oh my God, how do we get here? How do we get here?
Yeah. It's challenging. So I'm always thankful when people are receptive, because
it makes it so much more fun.
Because then I know what they're getting. I know that they're getting the healing. But yeah, I've definitely I've had people like you're talking about who they wanted it, they got it from me, but they just really weren't receptive. Sometimes they come back, sometimes they don't. But
one time, another quick story. One time, a friend of mine, I sent him to another Reiki master to get a session done because she actually uses a lot of crystals in her work. She is like the crystal queen. So she do crystal Reiki galore, right? Yeah. So, and he's like a big heavy set guy. So she has like crystals from head to toe. All of a sudden, he's in the flow, right? He's snoring and everything. Yeah. All of a sudden, he jumps up. Crystals fly everywhere. Oh my God. And he's literally like, I'm done. I had enough. Okay. And they always say like animals, animals will walk away when they had enough, or it's like when certain energy is like, I've had enough. So Reiki knows when you full and you done. So if you feel like, okay, I'm done, even with distance, sometimes like I've gotten distance and it feels like, oh man, he needs to wrap this up because I'm seeing colors. I'm ready to go to sleep. I'm feeling the wave. I'm like, I need to go to sleep now. I've had enough.
That's hilarious that you said that guy just jumped up.
He just, crystals went everywhere. She was like, my good crystals went everywhere.
Oh, and I wanted to tell people, I have add-ons. Okay. So when you book a session with me, if you're in person or not in person, distance, you can add on crystal healing. It's just like, I can't remember how much more it is, but it's not that much more, like maybe $15 more. Or if you're in person with me, and actually right now I'm not doing in person, but when I start doing them again, I also do aromatherapy for another add-on fee.
Man, that helps so much.
What's funny about, like I have a dog, Max, you know about Max. When I do Reiki on him, he doesn't tolerate it for very long at all. Like I'll put my hands on him and like within a minute he's walking away. He's like, okay,
enough.
Yeah.
Enough.
But one of my other friends who's also clairvoyant, she told me, she was like, when you're practicing on people, he's getting that as well. Okay. So yeah. But
we good for today.
Is part of the package. He helps with when
service animal,
the healing. He's helping. So yeah,
absolutely. Any other crazy Reiki stories you have that you might want to share?
I don't know about necessarily crazy, but I know when I've done healings on my mom or friends of mine, especially because like they just have one spot in their body that has pain. Like my mom she has knee pain in her right knee. My other friend also has pain in her right knee from osteoarthritis. When I hear them say that the pain is gone after I do the healing. Also, I have a friend who, when I was doing in-person healing at a conference, and I was just doing like short 10-minute for a large number of people who were coming through, she had cramps that day, period cramps. And she told me that her cramps went away for 8 hours.
Wow.
So those are the types of feedback that I get from people is their pain goes away. You know, it's not permanent, but that's just what it does. It will go where it needs to go. So even if we are not holding the intention of necessarily just that one thing, the Reiki is going to go through your body and heal whatever you need healing with.
Yeah.
So
that's the thing that I love about it most is that I don't have to worry about what specific anything. I hold the space because I know it's not me. It is God, like source healing.
Absolutely.
Like it's just what it's just what it is. It's just what it is. Like I always say it's like hands-on healing at church, but I'm not gonna push you on the floor.
Yeah. No.
I'm gonna push you down and put the cloth over you.
It's not that dramatic.
Right. Less drama. You are home safe.
Right.
Like take off your wig, whatever you got to do to unwind. I just typically ask people not to drink or anything like that. Just literally relax.
Yeah. It's better if you're not, smoking anything.
Don't try to enhance it.
No. It's gonna be good on its own. Try to help it. I mean, fine if you got some sleepy time tea,
right?
That's burn your sleep.
Right. I did have a client who was doing a distance session, and she said she had set herself up a crystal grid, and she said, "Oh my God, that Reiki you had me levitating." But I was like, "You've been known to smoke," so I'm like, "Did you smoke before?" Yeah, I did. Okay, that was the combination because nobody ain't levitated in my Reiki yet.
Yeah, no,
but I know you. I know you
have that. But I do have people tell me that they have visions, of colors.
Definitely colors, dreams. Get enhanced.
Yeah,
that's a big one.
So. Yeah.
Even sometimes a lot of pressure in a certain area, but sometimes I feel like it might be an eruption that's about to come out or something that needs to get moved. Sometimes they do have discomfort if something's going on.
Discomfort. Or I've had people feel like hot and cold. So somebody, when I think it was the same person that had the knee pain, first she felt the energy as warm. Then I went across the rest of her body, and then I came back to it, and then she said it felt cool. And then after that, and so I realized I probably removed a blockage, the knee there, because everything is energy.
It is.
I'm learning in medicine, as somebody who comes from a Western medicine background, everything is energy. So remember all of those arguments, all of the trauma, everything that not only you've gone through, but that has come through you from your grandparents, that has come to you
your family,
your family
lineage,
or even past lives, that all lives in your body. So when you get Reiki healing, the Reiki is going to move that around and lift it from you. So if you are feeling badly after a Reiki session, it's usually because you're releasing whatever energy of that emotion that you had maybe living in your shoulder or living.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes when people come from Reiki and they feel like they're heavy, or they feel sad or whatever, that's just it. That emotion has to come up, and you have to feel it in order for you to release.
Yeah. And I feel like sometimes that's why people shy away from the work, is because they don't want to feel it.
Yeah.
This is just one of the pictures that I have, like, and they have documented, this is like, I'm sure it's backwards, but different areas hold different emotions.
Yeah.
So sometimes when the energy is going into one particular area, you may feel it physically. The shoulders represent burdens.
And can you send that to me?
Absolutely.
Excellent. That is,
it's an emotional, 11 emotional energy centers in our body.
Yeah.
And we know we have a lot of old heart stuff, embarrassment, shame, humiliation, where we have that feeling of a broken heart.
Yeah.
The lower half, feeling like we won't survive any type of violations that you've had.
Yeah.
We literally send healing back to that time because when I was looking, I actually wasn't looking for this one. I was looking for another one that showed the aura. Yeah. And it'll say like there'll be a wound over here that somebody maybe said something. And then that wound travels. And the next thing you know, you got a pain in your shoulder. Reiki is going to help clear out this energy around you so that wound doesn't penetrate the physical.
And I have a chakra course that I'm creating.
Ooh, that's fantastic.
The chakras are really important. The chakras are part of the energy body that we are targeting when we're doing Reiki healing on. And the different hand positions, like let's talk about the root chakra. The root chakra is the chakra that comes online from birth until you're 7. So that time in your life when you're a little kid and you're with your family, that is when you're forming your tribal existence, where you're learning to work within a family, and the things that can become kind of skewed, like let's say you grew up in a family that moved around a lot, or a family where you didn't have a lot of money, those are all going to be associated with root chakra imbalance. So sometimes people will grow up and they'll have this great job, but they're still living in
survival mode.
They're still in survival mode. Yes, absolutely. So I am doing a course where we're learning what the different imbalances and what the different kind of areas in life, like where your money resides is in your sacral chakra. Also where your,
a lot of people don't know that.
Yes, it's not just the sexual creativity, but it's the creativity to learn how to take care of yourself too.
Currency, move that frequency of money, that energy of money.
So I will be creating a course where I'm didactically teaching people these principles, but we also are healing them. So one week we go through the root chakra. I teach you all about it. I teach you if you have an over or underactive root chakra. I teach you how to treat it. You go through that week, but at the end of the session, you're going to get some Reiki healing. So we're going to also physically heal it at the same time. And then as you go through that week, you can start applying what I taught you to also self-heal.
And again, there comes a point where you have to take responsibility and you have to get into the self-healing. Like, we're here offering the gifts that we have, but it is up to you to carry the torch, like to cross the finish line, to take control. And especially nowadays, like, I feel like now is a time where it's a free-for-all. Like, we know so much information, so many things have come out about the world and what we're doing here. Even I swear, I say it all the time, I cannot believe that y'all made people think they was crazy for 30 years when y'all knew there was aliens. And then you want to drop it at the end of a pandemic. Like, people been thinking they crazy for years and they weren't. Like, so diabolical.
Yeah. And that's something that according to, so we've been kind of throwing out these names like Abraham and
Bashar.
Bashar. If you guys don't know, Abraham Hicks is an entity that what's her name, Esther Hicks, channels. Bashar is an entity that Daryl Inca channels. These are energies like Bashar is an extraterrestrial. Abraham, I've heard, is made up of some guardian angels. I'm sorry.
Oh, I never even thought to
Yeah,
ask what Abraham was made of.
Abraham is made of a group that includes archangels.
Okay.
Same thing as Theo. Theo, I forget the lady, her name, who channels Theo.
I
Those
haven't heard
are
any of the
well,
Theo.
yeah. Theo was like from even before Abraham.
Okay.
But and Seth's another one, but that was
Seth's old school, right?
Seth is old school. That's where Abraham came out of.
Gotcha.
So these are energies that are being channeled by people. And I actually just forgot why I even brought that up.
Because you're a channel as well.
Yes. I'm a channel as well. That will be something that I'm working on personally for people, but I will soon be displaying that gift I have in terms of having people answer questions. So that's and actually I can talk about that. The channel really needs to answer other people's questions to really be authentic,
to grow.
So if you're just talking to yourself, it's not as, you're not grounded. That's actually what Bashar says. Like if you're just channeling for yourself, you're not grounding it in a way that you are actually helping other people. You're just kind of talking to yourself. So,
man, this is so fascinating. Let me ask anybody who has any questions, you can just pop them up in the comments, or if you have a question mark bubble on your screen, you can put it in there. We are again talking with Dr. Marissa. She is a Reiki master teacher, anesthesiologist, pain management specialist, and okay, we still got a little bit of time. I am actually having distance Reiki tonight. It's complimentary at 10 o'clock. I think you probably have about 4 more minutes to sign up for that on my website. So after this, I will be doing angel messages if anybody wants to stick around. I'm going to log off of this so that this video can be short without people's readings attached to it. But you're welcome to come back on if you want to tag team some messages, just because when I try to upload this and we try to share it and get this out, I don't want everybody's reading trailing on the end, because I can't, it's too big to cut. Like I try to cut it and I'm like, not an editor. I gotta get an editor. So if anybody has any Reiki questions, feel free to throw that in now, and tell us your website again. Tell us how they can reach you, and then we'll make sure it's pinned too.
So if the easiest thing that you might want to do is just to click on my name and go to the link tree that is under in my bio. Or my website is Marissa, that's Marissa Maclin, MACLIN.com. So marissamaclin.com is my website, and there you can get signed up for either distance single individual sessions with me, or sign up for the group healing that starts tomorrow, Wednesday evening, 8 p.m. every Wednesday. So that's the thing, like it's always rolling. So you can always join it at any time. Just
that's cool.
I'm starting it tomorrow doesn't mean that if you miss tomorrow that you're gonna miss.
You can circle back.
You can buy the 6-week package at any time, and you're always gonna get it 6 weeks. Okay.
Awesome. Okay, then. So I didn't see anybody put any Reiki questions in. So like I said, we're going to end this live. I'm so happy, so thankful that you took the time to talk to us about this. Reiki is one of my favorite subjects. It's like,
me too.
It's just like in me now. Like,
and I'm seeing, this is auspicious. I'm seeing another one of my angel
Eight,
numbers, 858.
5, 8.
So it's
They be them eights be on you,
yeah,
girl.
yes. And I did have
Oh yeah,
I
you had a story about that. You were gonna tell
it
about the
was
numbers,
just,
or
I'll
you
just
want to
tell it.
tell them the other part?
It's, I don't even want to, basically, I've been seeing a lot of eights and zeros, eights and ones, sevens a lot. So for me, 8 is abundance and also infinity. And what you put out is what comes back. And then 5 is for change.
Absolutely.
And so that was the 858 energy. But the really good win that I had today was, I had, you know how sometimes you sign up for online teaching things,
Oh yeah,
like
they're
we're
all over the
talking
place.
about.
Yeah.
So I signed up for something that was like super expensive. It was $1,000 a month. And then I just like never used it. And then I actually did get sick. And so I just hadn't used it in a long time, but they were still going to make me pay for it. Today they told me that they wrote it off and I don't have to pay anything.
Oh, awesome.
God. And I was like, you know what? That's how you have to, even though abundance can mean so many different things. Abundance in money, abundance in maybe having a trade or a special gift like we do that you can use barter for either money or for other services. There's abundance in health. There's abundance in happiness. Abundance comes in so many different forms. And so today I had to realize that was a monetary abundance.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It wasn't necessarily money that I got in my bank.
Yeah, but a penny saved is a penny earned, right?
Put out, yes.
Yeah, money
so that was,
that you didn't have to make a what do they say? Open up the vortex when there's a deficit.
Yeah.
For it to get filled in again.
And so what I had to do so that I can continue to bring in this abundance was I had to be super thankful and grateful. That's one of the ways that you can maintain manifestation of something, is to be grateful for it. And the other thing too is like just staying happy. That's something that we don't think about when we talk about abundance or we talk about manifesting. When we're manifesting, we have to stay at a high level of energy, of vibration, frequency, and of emotion, because whatever you're putting out, that's what's coming back to you. And that was what I learned through channeling. When I channel energies, they're literally talking to me, and they're telling me, oh, the Black Madonna is coming in to help you with this. Your Aunt Eve is coming in to help you with this. Anything that you want to do, and that is good things or bad things. Thing that you are setting out to do.
There's no judgment on it.
No, there's no
frequency match,
and the universe is conspiring for you to have it. Like it literally comes in with, like, your archangel comes, or your guardian angel and your spirit guides come.
That's why I say people be careful with the why, because when you ask, why did this happen? They're going to go find out for you and they're going to bring you the answer of why. But is that why going to be beneficial to you, or is it going to make you do it again? Or is it going to keep you low?
It's what it is the spirit of free will. So no matter what it is that you want to do, whether it's you want to save the world or you want to go bomb something, you're going to get help. You're going to get help for it, because the universe wants you to do, like, you have free will. You can choose whatever you want to do. You can even choose bad or negative things. You're going to get help with it.
Just like when you want that late night phone call and you feel like you shouldn't go over there, and then all of a sudden they send a text. You got help with that. Now you on the way.
Exactly. Exactly. You got help with.
we're
That's,
gonna end this one, and then we'll
yeah.
jump right back on again, like I
Okay.
said, so that the video doesn't get too big, so that
Yeah.
this one can be shareable. So come back on in a second, girl. I'm just gonna
Sounds
end this now, and we'll come back on and then get loose with that one.
awesome.
All right. Okay.